Hey guys, long time no see. So I did a little video about a year and a half ago about how I felt about our move here to Nova Scotia 30 days in. So here we are, it's about a year and a half in, and I thought I'd give you a little update on how things are going and my impressions so far. So July 2019, we moved to rural Nova Scotia between Annapolis, Royal and Digby. You can see we're on a farm here, 12 acres. Beautiful view behind me there. That's the Annapolis Basin back there. And let's see. Right now we're feeling really good. But let me tell you, it hasn't exactly been all roses and butterflies. And what I mean by that is it's been a tough adjustment, especially for me. My wife had a bit of an easier time, but for me it was tough because coming from a big city, crazy busy, you know, like for example, the building I worked in had the same number of people that live in Yarmouth. And I was on a train full of 1,000 people, and that train ran every 10 minutes. So I know it must sound crazy. It must sound like, wow, you must love it here. Well, I do now, but in the beginning, it was a tough adjustment. It's just, you get used to something, you know? You get used to a lifestyle, you get used to being busy and being surrounded by craziness, and it just becomes normal. And then you come here and it's the absolute opposite. Quiet, there's no one around, it's tranquil. I know all those great positive words, but it was tough. I admit it. I love it now, don't get me wrong. It took me, you know, essentially almost a year to adapt, but I have adapted and I'm happy and I love it here, just for the record. But just something to think about, you know, if you are coming from a busy place like that and you end up in a rural spot, very small community, it can be a hard adjustment. Something to think about. So let's see, so far the people have just been absolutely amazing in this province. The nature, a beauty of nature, the ocean, I can't beat it. It's absolutely amazing. Everywhere you go, you can find trails, wildlife. We have 7 deer walking across our lawn like every other day. And it's beautiful, there's no question about that. The healthcare system here is, it seems a little underfunded to me. Like in the beginning, I had to go to the Emerge for everything. You know, little things. I had to go to the Emerge, but you know what? They were short wait times, and the staff there are amazing, and great quality of care at the hospital for sure. So there's no complaints there. I do have my own doctor now, so that's good. But unfortunately, not everyone has been able to find their own doctor for family doctors. So there's definitely a shortage of doctors around. That's for sure. And I think if you have like if there's something serious, you're going to have to go to, you know, Halifax or Yarmouth or Kentville, or, you know, a larger area. Out here, like even the Digby Hospital, great hospital, but they don't really handle serious conditions like heart conditions or whatever. So something to think about. Let's see. We've met a bunch of people, made some new friends, great friends. It was a tough go, especially with the pandemic, but we have been able to. You got to put the work in. You got to get out there and you got to meet people, or they're not coming to you. So you got to make that a priority, which is what we've done, and it's turned out great for us so far, and we're looking forward to meeting new people. Let's see what else. Being here in a rural setting in a small community, you drive a lot. So, and that comes back to planning and groceries and whatnot. Like we're putting on, geez, probably 5 times the mileage here that we did back in Ontario, just because, you know, Ontario, you don't have to drive far to get things. Here you have to drive, you know, I have to drive probably, you know, 15 kilometers just to get into the small town. And the other thing is, in the winter, a lot of the stores just close up completely. So you know, your options are even further limited by the winter. And the winters here can be, you know, can be quite isolating because of that. People tend to um, they just tend to hibernate, I guess, in the winter, especially in the rural areas, and I don't blame them. There's nothing else to do. We have been to Halifax a couple times. I just absolutely love Halifax. It is the nicest city I've seen in a while. It's got a beautiful waterfront. You know, a lot of folks, a lot of locals might say that Halifax is it's overcrowded and busy, but obviously they've probably never been to, you know, they've never driven down the 401 or the QEW in rush hour. That's it's a night and day, trust me. But yeah, Halifax is quite beautiful. We really like it there. Let's see what else. Trying to think here. We've done a lot of work around here. Oh, the other thing is you gotta embrace independence. Again, I'm only speaking of our situation here in the rural Annapolis Valley. But you have to really learn how to, you know, solve your own problems and, you know, be prepared for things. You know, the weather out here can be quite changeable, quite unpredictable, I would say, especially in the shoulder seasons or in the winter. Summers here are just absolutely perfect. I have never been in a nicer climate than here in the summer for sure, hands down. But yeah, you got to be prepared. You gotta you know, expect the unexpected, I guess, sort of thing. The other thing is that, like, the weather and the climate here is actually quite different than Ontario, and not only that, it's quite different across this province. So depending on where you are, you can have a different experience. Like, for example, in the Annapolis Valley, at least where we are, summers are warm, quite warm. Not as warm as Ontario, but warm. The winters are a little cooler than the South Shore, like the Atlantic side, but again, they're still warmer than Ontario. Although we do get more rain here, I would say, all around compared to Ontario, and there's a lot of ice in the winter, just because the temperature is closer to zero here. So there's definitely more ice, and then there's a lot of wind especially in the shoulder seasons in the winter. Like we're getting, I would say on average, there's a decent storm comes through here once a week in the spring and in the late fall, and probably even in the winter too. And there's a lot of wind with these storms, and you know, it's not like a huge dump of snow or necessarily a huge rainfall, but there's definitely a lot of wind. So it took me a while to get used to. And we also get hurricanes here, in case you didn't know that. The first one was Dorian for us, which strangely I was kind of excited about. I've never been through a hurricane, so I was excited to experience that, but I'm not excited about experiencing a hurricane anymore. It was scary. Did a lot of damage, took out power for 6 days, took half our shingles off the roof, blew a tree over in our backyard. Like, it's not something to be messed with. So just be aware that they happen, you know, once every couple of years, probably on average. Certainly not as strong or as crazy as the southern states, but still, for folks that aren't used to it or haven't been through one, it can be scary, and it was scary for me. Let's see. I don't know what else to say at this point. You know, we're pretty happy here. We started our own business called Wildwood Creek. We make home body care product on our farm here. We grow the botanicals on the farm that we use in our products, and so right now it's almost mid-April, so we're going to be gearing up for some more plantings and of course some harvesting when that time comes. And I'm excited about that. I love being outside. I love getting my hands dirty. It beats sitting at a desk, I'll tell you that. But so yeah, there you go. Here's my update. We're also going to turn a small portion of the barn that we've fixed up. It used to be called a milk house, because this farm used to be a dairy farm way back when. Anyway, we're going to turn that little milk house into a little on-farm store for our product, and we'll put a sign up front So once I got to do a little bit of painting there, a little cleanup, and then I'll do another little video of that milk house, and I'll show you how it's coming along. All right, so that's it for now, I guess. Any questions, just throw them in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. All right, until next time, see ya.